is Benjamin Okeze Kalu, representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. Arise.
From the hallowed chambers, his voice resonates crystal clear.
You say you shared money recently, and I represent the constituency, and there are 360 of us, and all of them are saying we are not feeling the impact.
He's the unmistaken voice of Undi Bende and the image maker of the House of Representatives.
Swept away houses and roads in communities like Mpa, Umimenyi, Uzita, and Bende. Mr. Speaker,
he's a committed, courageous, articulate, and deeply impassioned lawmaker with the plight of his constituents.
Joining me now on the political segment is Honorable Benjamin Kalu, who's the spokesman of the House of Representatives.
Kalus Mandate gives you first-hand information on the activities of the member representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, as well as his position on national issues. Kalus Mandate. It's the first edition of a new quarter, and this is Kalus Mandate, where we highlight the activities of the member representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency at the lower chamber of the 9th National Assembly. That's the House of Representatives. Bridging the gap between the parliament and the people is the program Kalus Mandate. Welcome. My name is Michael Oni. The program runs on Flow 94.9 FM, both on the terrestrial platforms and the online platforms, and also on Vision Africa Radio 104.1 FM, Real 99.1 FM, Family Love 99.9 FM, and ABN Online Radio and TV. The member representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency is joining us virtually today. He's also the spokesperson of the 9th House of Representatives, Representative Benjamin Okeze Kalu. Glad to have you join us on another edition of the program, Kalus Mandate.
Thank you, Michael, and always a pleasure to be here. And thank you, Abians, especially my good people of Bende Federal Constituency, for always tuning in for an interactive section.
All right, you're welcome. Let's begin with the obvious, security. And unfortunately, your federal constituency is the most affected in Abia State, talking about the burning down of federal institutions like the police stations. And the latest is the Bende Divisional Police Headquarters. And I would like to get your reaction on that. In the statement released and signed by you after that barbaric incident, you said plans were already in motion with the DPO for better security before this incident happened. So are those plans still in place?
Yes, it's quite unfortunate that the insecurity that all of us are complaining about has hit my federal constituency so badly. So badly that today we don't have any police station except for the one that was built by its people through their self-help, which has not been utilized by the police force. They built according to the plans given to them by the MPF, but unfortunately this was during the Bishop Sunday's regime as the President General of Eastern Development Association or Union, and up till now it has not been put to use. So maybe it's high time we thought about using that police station while we fix the ones that we have. Yes, we had plans in place because they received intelligence early enough that there was an imminent attack, and they wanted to rebuild their fence. We started. We've commissioned it, and they approached me, and we tried to put certain things in place for the construction to, speed up before this took place. We are not stopping. We are still going to continue to put our own assistance to rebuild the infrastructures that have been destroyed in our federal constituency. The one at Uzuakole, I was also working closely with the President General of Uzuakole, who approached me, and I have also spoken to the various stakeholders at the national level on how to come over to Macedonia and help us to put that Uzuakole police station back to shape. We need to get the police back to their position, because they are there to save life. They are the instrument we use for the protection of life and property, which is the primary purpose of government. Yeah, so that was what was in place before this happened. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to refer to that incident in Bende later on during our conversation this morning. But let's talk about the fallout of the Asaba Accord, where 17 governors from southern Nigeria met and agreed on 12 resolutions, which was made public through a communique, of course, read by the governor of Ondo State. Now, parts of the resolutions reached include the call for a national dialogue and restructuring. Are you in support of the governors?
To be honest, the southern governors made people like us very proud, irrespective of political party affiliation.
Okay.
The governors of the southern part of Nigeria made us very, very proud. Because, it's been a long time we've been desiring for them to do exactly what their counterparts in the north have been doing, which is always sitting together across party line and discussing issues that affect their region. And that has been helping them to consolidate and to win on so many agendas they set for themselves. And we are praying and saying, when is this going to happen in the south? That the west and the east will come and sit together, and South will come and sit together and provide solution for our regional integration and development. When I saw that a few days ago, I was very glad. And I'm so happy that also my own governor was there and also was taking the front role. The issues they mentioned were pertinent issues, well researched, I must say. Most of the issues they raised, that communique that had about, I think the communique had about 12 issues, about 12 issues. Most of the things they raised there were things that Nigerians wanted to hear their opinion on, and they were bold enough, to be united, to have a common purpose with regards to this. So I'm in agreement with all their recommendations.
Okay.
Except number 6.
Okay,
number six.
Which is?
Number six of that recommendation is recommended that in view of widespread agitation among our various peoples for greater inclusiveness in the existing governance arrangement, the federal government should convoke a national dialogue as a matter of urgency. I agree with all the things they said about open grazing to end and all the rest of them, but I'm not in agreement with this.
But why are you against national dialogue?
My dissenting opinion on this borders on the following. And number one is our post-COVID national economics are not favorable to accommodate extra costs of governance. To convoke another set of 492 Nigerians, as it was in 2014, to deliberate on issues the parliament has been constitutionally set up to handle, is to me quite superfluous and an encouragement to waste our lean resources. We cannot afford it now. At the moment, we can't, unless there is an international donor agent that will take up the full bill. Even at that, donor funds are needed in other areas of need, not this. It will be an avenue also for most governors, I'm not saying the southern governors, to siphon funds, because when you begin to move people to Abuja for this national dialogue, it's going to cost a lot of money, and the resources of the state and most of the state governors are looking for money to pay salaries, to begin to pay for representatives to go, in addition to the representatives that were elected, to sit in Abuja and start discussing issues that ordinarily supposed to be handled by those that were elected as representatives, both at the national, both at the Senate and the House of Rep. To me, is something I consider a waste. Number 3 position where I have a dissenting opinion on that particular one is that time is of the essence. And you will agree with me that it is not practicable to achieve the planning, the execution, and the compilation of reports and the implementation before the end of this tenure. Once election year starts, it will be thrown to the trash bin and it will amount to another exercise in futility. That's the truth. Because once election really comes, they'll jettison it. So the money spent in, putting all these people together and pushing them to Abuja will be a waste. And also, duplication number 4 is that I consider it as a duplication of effort. The last convocation was less than 10 years ago, for goodness sake. It was in 2014. And a lot has not changed in these last 7 years. So the question is, why do we want to repeat what was done just a few years back, but yet to be used? So what is my recommendation to this, my dissenting opinion? What do I think should be done in the face of this, need for us to dialogue? Since it is to me a call for more national economic waste, because time is of the essence on issues of citizen agitation, and there is no more time for this administration, it seems to me that a proposal to review and adopt the 2014 over 200 recommendations by the National Conference under the chairmanship of the late Justice
600 resolutions.
Yes, it's up to 600 resolutions under the late Justice Idris Kutiji. It remains a better approach. Okay. My position is hinged. My position is hinged on the fact that most of the issues fueling agitation were expressed and addressed in that report. While we may not take all the recommendations without adjusting them to reflect the dynamic time we are in, a call for an entirely new national conference, or if you like, dialogue, is a bad one. This review shows, this review we're talking about, that I'm saying is a better option,
okay,
should remain within the walls of the parliament, both the state and the national, and thereafter presented to the executive for immediate implementation. The voice of these 17 southern governors will be heard in the unison of the adoption or dissent on issues raised in the report, using the instrumentality of their various legislative houses, a position that will invariably influence the stand of their federal representative at the National Assembly while looking at the final document. So you see, that is my position. Let us use what we have spent money on 7 years ago. Post-COVID economics in this country is not positive. And to begin to drag the budget again to sponsor 400 and something people to sit down to deliberate on what have been deliberated on, to me, I consider it as a waste.
Okay, let me...
The 17 southern governors and their opinion, they can look at the reviewing of the document in their legislative houses, the House of Assembly, the Speaker of the House, the members of the House of Assembly. You tell them, get this document and this is our opinion. The governor will say, this is my opinion on these 1, 2, 3, 4 issues that have been captured in this particular recommendation from the National Conference.
Okay,
position it, and then they advise their National Assembly members, this is our position as a state. When we collect it, we'll have a final working document that represents the dynamic time that we are in. And then it will be tabled to the executive for adoption, backed by the governors. To me, it's a more cost-effective and time-saving way towards this national dialogue. Thank you.
Okay, I'm still going to take you on the outcome of that meeting that the Southern governors had. The statement credited to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Representative Femi Gbajabiamila, the Honorable Speaker, is being translated by members of the public that the Honorable Speaker is against restructuring. Now, the Speaker granted an interview last week at the Aso Rock Villa after saying, Mr. President, where he said we all have equal shares in the blame. And a lot of persons have said that the Speaker might be against restructuring. I don't know what will be your reaction to that?
Yeah, you see, I issued a statement when this thing started happening, and it was on the 14th of May that I issued that statement. Because you see, the press, they have a way of capturing either their headlines or the narrative they want to push out for commercial purposes. Not all of them anyway, but most of them. They do that to enable them sell more. So they make the headlines very fantastic, and many people begin to run, and it becomes a trending issue. You see, this is not the time to be involved in some of these petty issues. I gave a press statement, and I made it clear that what the speaker never mentioned anything about being against restructuring at all. And I also captured verbatim what the speaker said. I said, quoting Mr. Speaker, he said, this is not a time for name calling. or blame
game.
one person or the other. A blame game. If truth be told, we all have equal shares in the blame. And whatever challenges we have, we all must come together. In the same way we all have equal shares, we must all come together to make sure that we resolve whatever issues there are. Like I said earlier, the greatest nations have gone through challenges worse than this. And I believe that it is that spirit of oneness and that spirit of togetherness and unity and love that will take us through this. You know, sometimes there are many things that people have said here and there, and you never know where these things are coming from. Sometimes God even put you through challenges so that you can come up, stronger, bigger, better, bolder. That's what I believe is going to happen to Nigeria. We are all put together in this one geographical space for a reason. It wasn't by happenstance or coincidence or by chance. It was ordained by Almighty God, and He doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't go wrong. What He decrees is what will be, and I believe He put us together. No matter your religion, no matter your ethnicity, talking about over 250 ethnic groups in one country. It is that diversity that God has foreseen that I believe we should tap into as Nigerians. I have believed in the Nigerian resilience and in the Nigerian spirit and in the spirit of Ramadan. We must continue to pray. This was just what the speaker said. Tell me, where did you see I am against restructuring? I mean, and immediately after these governors met, the various caucuses of the House met and signed a document adopting the position of the governors. What I just said now about my own dissenting opinion on national dialogue, that will, unless there is going to be done in a different structure or model, this is my personal opinion. It's not the House opinion. And the speaker also made it clear, a statement that had nothing to do with the structure, but the press ran along with it and started selling their newspaper, blaming the speaker. So we made it clear that the speaker, we made it clear, it is clear to objective reason that nothing in the above statement opposes the Southern governors. That was what I pushed out to the media, and you grab a copy of that, my press statement, it answers this question. Right. I want to re-emphasize that the speaker or the National Assembly is in no way against the position of the Southern governors. And in fact, most of us are very proud of the governors for taking this bold step. And if they should continue meeting, not just once. The more they continue meeting, the more they come together, the more we're able to resolve some of our challenges. And regional integration policy should be the one driving them. Economic integration, political integration, social integration. It is high time we started integrating the southern region to become as formidable as what is happening in the north. That way, we will bring to the table a stronger negotiating instrument whenever we meet to be able to discuss issues affecting Nigeria. Because we are divided into east and west and south-south. That division into three makes us not to have a formidable front. But if we come together now as one block of the southern front, I can assure you negotiations will be better and it will achieve more for the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
It is still Ben Kalus Mandate, where we highlight the activities of the member representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, that's the 9th National Assembly. And the representative representing that Bende Federal Constituency is the spokesperson of the House. And of course, we have the opportunity to hear directly from the House of Representatives. Now, let me return to you. I want to have your opinion on open grazing. We know, when you talk about open grazing in Nigeria, a lot of persons will add political coloration to it. Some persons have even come out to say no member of the APC can support the ban on open grazing. And the 17 governors reiterated the ban on open grazing in their states. So what is your position on open grazing?
The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, Section 41, provides that every citizen of Nigeria is entitled to move freely throughout Nigeria and to reside in any part of Nigeria. This applies only to the movement of people. It applies only to the movement of people. It does not prevent the state government from making laws as to how cattle and livestock should be reared within the boundaries of their state. So, what is my recommendation there? State government should start providing commercial ranching, another alternative solution for people who make a livelihood from cattle, both foreign and indigenous, to the state. We should not prevent outsiders from running the business in our state, but we must determine the parameters that they should use in doing that business in our state. There's a great economic benefit to be had in organized ranching, that even the state government can invest in it and make money to increase their internally generated revenue. I give you an example. The United States farming industry contributes more than $100 billion every year to the US. There are several billionaire cowboys in the USA. Bristol Ranching in Texas is worth $319 million. Gateway Nyons Ranch in Colorado is worth $279 million. Mesa Vista Ranch in Texas is worth $220 million. I can go on and on. It's high time state government started looking into the economic viability of commercialized ranching. But I must re-emphasize the need for state government to provide alternative options for people who want to start or continue cattle ranching. The federal government and the state government must also reconcile the designation of corridors for passage of livestock with provision prohibiting open grazing. I take this position because we are not going backward, we are going forward. We cannot embrace democracy and the benefits of democracy and alienate ourselves from the other things that are linked to development. It is out of place to go to the United States of America and on the streets of New York. You'll be seeing cattle everywhere. You don't see that in Netherlands and other Western economies that have benefited from the livestock as part of farming. Why are we choosing the other option when there are other alternatives? So the position of the governors are correct. And I am a representative. I am not presenting myself. I'm representing the wishes of my people and the wishes of the federal constituency. The members of the federal constituency.
Okay.
The eggheads, the great minds of the federal constituency is that open grazing should stop and that ranching should be applied. So we are aligning with the governors. I'm aligning with my state governor that now commercialized ranching should be the order of the day. Nothing less than that.
I would still like to take you on this one just before we move away from the Asaba Accord. The issue of ranching that you're proposing, and you're saying state government should take it, a lot of persons might misconstrue you, saying, let's look at it from this angle. The cattle business is a private business, and they're saying, why will the state government take or give priority to some person's private business? We're giving land to some private persons to run their business. I don't know what will be your reaction to that.
No. I'm not saying it doesn't mean giving places for people to run their private business. That is not what commercialized ranching is all about. If you're a private person doing the business, you go. Let me give you an example. I go to the north. I open a hotel. I sell alcohol. They say no, you cannot do that there. It is against our faith, the policy of the state. You close it down. If I go there to run my business, do I get it free of charge? I don't get it free of charge. Even when I don't get it free of charge, I pay for the rent. I pay for the land I used to do the business. At the same time, you must work under the regulation of that state. If you don't comply with their regulation, they have access to their laws that will hold you and said, no, you cannot function in this manner. And you must respect their belief. You must respect their own policy direction. Now, if you come to South and you want to do business, which is a private business, you look for a land. You acquire property to be able to do your ranching. We're not saying government should donate land for individuals who want to do ranching. No, all I'm saying is that in the course of approving commercial ranching, the government herself should be able to have that as a source of IGR. I'm happy with what has been set up. I know the government of Abia State set up one of the best slaughterhouses around, somewhere in the south. The same way, we can also set up ranching, commercialized ranching, where we can raise our own cattle to feed our people, or allow other people from other parts of Nigeria to come in and do the same business, but in a dignified manner, in a manner that will be less of acrimony and rancor, in a manner that will not be going through people's farm and destroying their properties. That is the kind of thing we are asking for. And we are aligning fully with the southern governors and said, yes, we have grown as a nation to the extent that we should be able to afford it at the moment, and not having cattle defecate along all the pathways, destroy the roads, destroy the farms, and then cause problem between us and our brothers from other parts of Nigeria because we are farmers and they are cattle rearers, and the cattle need our farm to feed themselves. No, we should be able to reduce such rancor.
All right.
The only way to reduce it is by going through my recommendation that I just mentioned to you now.
All right, we need to move on. Let's move away from the Asaba Accord now. One story that featured on our newspaper headlines today involving you, and it came with mixed reactions. It's about the event that took place in Akure. You delivered a speech on the benefit and the opportunities of Cannabis Plant, and Vanguard newspaper reported it. I don't know if you've seen it. House of Representatives set to legalize use of Indian hemp for economic benefit, says spokesperson. And the Punch reported it as cannabis will aid our individual drive and boost IGR, says representative, says spokesman. Now, you know the moral standing of some Nigerians to issues like this, and it came with a lot of reactions, especially from Abians. So I would like you to explain more on that. Were you misconstrued?
You see, my position in government, in representing my people, it's a very sensitive position, and most times the newspapers sell their news with people like us who are playing this kind of sensitive position.
It's a obvious fact.
You are aware,
you are a newsmaker yourself, so
yeah. I don't know whether that is good, I don't know whether that is bad, but the issue is that newspapers have a way, like I just said a few minutes ago about the speaker and how they said that he was against the structuring. They have a way of pushing their narratives to be able to raise the people against the parliament and cause a news to trend. The issue remains that the Ondo state government has been in the forefront of the advocacy for alternative source of income, both for his state and for the Federal Republic of Nigeria, by looking at agriculture, and in this case, one of the plants that is being needed all over the world, an export quality plant that is needed all over the world for medicinal reasons, not for social enjoyment, not for smoking, for industrial reasons, for medicinal reasons, for pharmaceutical reasons, for the production of 50,000 products application, ranging from paper making. You make paper from textile, from cannabis. Many are not aware of this. You make textiles from cannabis. You make biodegradable plastics from cannabis. You make fuel from cannabis. You do construction with cannabis. You produce healthy food from cannabis, beverages from cannabis, personal care products from cannabis, pharmaceuticals from cannabis. And when people hear cannabis, they just think it's like we normally see in our normal parlance, Igbo, goof. We are going to be smoking. I will never support smoking. I have never smoked in my life. I'm a Christian. I'm a born-again Christian, not just a Christian. I'm a born-again Christian. I've never smoked. I don't drink. I don't smoke, for those who know me, all through my life. We're not talking about personal enjoyment. We're looking at that particular plant as a source to help us, produce all these things I just mentioned to you.
at the moment, and also to increase our economic value by exporting some of these products outside the country. And this is in line. Let me tell you what a research has shown. According to verified market research, the global industrial hemp market, global industrial, I'm mentioning industrial, I'm not talking about your Igbo that you smoke. I'm not talking about your goof. I'm saying global industrial hemp market was valued at $5 billion in 2019. And it is projected to reach $36 billion by 2026, growing at a CAGR of 34% from 2019 to 2026. You know, when issues come up like this, people are very sentimental and emotional. They don't go into critical thinking. They don't go into research. And the first response to new knowledge, you know, to new innovation by tradition is attack. Attack is the first reaction of tradition to innovation. Let me give you an example. When I came up, it sounded very controversial when I said COVID is here. Repatriate, help to bring back all our people in diaspora, especially China. Nigerians came against me. Oh, he wants to bring COVID into the country. Oh, why should we ask that? People who agreed with me to sponsor the motion abandoned me on the floor of the National Assembly. I didn't give up. At the end of the day, it was what the executive took. And today we brought back all our people from diaspora. Then it was controversial. Oh, Benjamin want to bring COVID to Nigeria. But it was the best option. Because if we abandon our compatriots in foreign lands, they will all die off there. And other nations were doing the same, bringing their people back. And why were we cut out? The same thing that is happening now. Other nations are buying into this particular substance, not for social enjoyment, but for industrial use. According to the consultancy firm known as Prohibition Partners, by 2023, that is 2 years from now, the value of Africans' legal cannabis market could be worth $7.1 billion. Currently, Malawi, small country, Zambia, small country, Zimbabwe, small country, Lesotho, and South Africa, small countries, have legalized the growing of industrial hemp. Emphasis on industrial. It's not all commerce affair. It's not where people who smoke goof will have access to it. If you touch it, you'll be arrested. When we say legalizing industrial use of cannabis, we're talking about how we can control the growing of cannabis for industrial purposes, and it will be limited to only few people as allowed by the United Nations Single Treaty. This is in line with United Nations Single Treaty. You know, Nigerians don't like reading. They don't like, getting information that will help them.
We need to take a break now. When we return, I wish we can actually continue this
before you take a break. Okay, when we come back,
when we return, I would like to take you on politics. There was a large gathering of almost all the PDP state executives in Abia State in your federal constituency.
Yeah, but I would like to finish. I would like to finish on the WHO United Nations position on this particular cannabis before you do your politics. Let's inform Nigerians.
All right, let's take the break now. It is still Ben Kalus Mandate, of course, where the member representing the good people of Bende federal constituency highlight his representation to the good people of Bende and, of course, to the good people of Abia State. We take a break now. When we return, we continue the conversation.
Is Benjamin Okeze Kalu, representing the good people of Bende federal constituency. I am from Abia State. Arise
from the hallowed chambers. His voice resonates crystal clear.
You say you shared money recently, and I represent the constituency, and there are 360 of us, and all of them are saying we are not feeling the impact.
He's the unmistaken voice of Undi Bende and the image maker of the House of Representatives.
Swept away houses and roads in communities like Mpa, Umimenyi, Ozita, and Bende. Mr. Speaker,
he's a committed, courageous, articulate, and deeply impassioned lawmaker with the plight of his constituents.
Joining me now on the political segment is Honorable Benjamin Benjamin Kalu, who's the spokesman of the House of Representatives.
Kalus Mandate gives you first-hand information on the activities of the member representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, as well as his position on national issues. Kalus Mandate airs on Flow 94.9 FM, Vision Africa 104.1 FM, and Real 99.1 FM every Tuesday by 10:30 a.m. Kalus Mandate, gains of quality representation. Yes, thank you very much for staying tuned. It is still Kalus Mandate, where we highlight the activities of the member representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency, Representative Benjamin Okezie Kalu, and he's been speaking to us on several issues, of course, virtually. Now, are you there? Hello.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. Let's finalize our discussion on the Cannabis Plant, and we move to politics.
Yes. As I was saying, Nigerians should not be left behind when the Committee of Nations, they are moving ahead with new innovation. Let me give you an example. The whole world is gradually moving away from oil and gas, fossil fuel, and there is a transition going into alternative sources of energy, empowering all these plants and vehicles and all the rest of them. I've attended some international conferences, just last week, and you see how the world is embracing electric cars. If you sit behind, waiting for your petrol car to, be the dream of 10 years, 20 years from now, you're making a mistake. You must embrace this innovation and run along with it. The same thing that is happening in the energy sector is also beginning to happen around other sectors. Agriculture is one of them. And there are so many benefits of, medicinal benefits of this particular plant, to the extent that the World Health Organization recommended that the United Nations should remove cannabis from Schedule 4 of the 1961 Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs and reclassify it as a medicinal and therapeutic substance. And this took place on December 2nd, 2020. So you see, if WHO came up and said, we have found something that is of benefit in this particular plant, please reclassify this particular substance from what it is to what it ought to be as medicinal and therapeutic. Which has informed several countries to legalize this, including African countries. It means that we are not the only one that is moving in this direction. So let's break it down. Has the House approved it? No. I just attended a press briefing where I mentioned that there is a bill before the House, and in our spirit of public engagement, that it will be good to hear what the public has to say about this piece of legislation, because we don't make laws for ourselves. We make laws for the people that have sent us to represent them, and for ourselves as well, because we are Nigerians. When we leave Parliament tomorrow, the law is going to apply to us. Now, in order to bridge the gap between the public and the Parliament, usually we have what we call the public engagement section, roundtables. This one has been sponsored by the Ondo State government, who is championing the advocacy with another organization, and I was invited to give a briefing on what I understand on the subject. And I said, yes, there is a law, a bill before the House, which we are considering to make sure that we expand the horizon of what it is now in our law to what it ought to be in view of what is happening in the whole world. It is called the amendment. It's called the Dangerous Drugs Act Amendment Bill 2020. And I'm saying when it is passed, it will usher in a new era on medicinal cannabis. And what people don't understand is that there is a structure that has been laid down by the United Nations, which must be followed if you are going to legalize it. And that will give you limited license. It's not everybody, it's not all commerce affair. It will give you limited license for cultivation. It will give you limited license for processing, limited license for export, limited license for distribution. So if you are seen with it and you don't have the license, you will be in trouble. And also, the medical use of it is for the treatment of pain, and epilepsy and all lot of things they have, captured. But in so doing, you don't just walk into the pharmacy, and pick it up. It is in line with the United Nations, this single treaty of the United Nations, that if you are below 21 years, you need a doctor to prescribe you to use it. If you are seen with it, it is illegal and you'll be punished for it. It is also recommended in that particular treaty that if you are over 21 years, you have to go to a pharmacy outlet. You don't just pick it from the street. And that pharmacy must have been approved by the Ministry of Health and the Office of Medical Cannabis, that will give the license. Now, the benefit of this is that the tax structure and social benefits that would come out of this particular, legalization will help us to solve some of our, social needs. For example, social project, education, healthcare. At least 10% that will come from the tax there, tax revenue is going to help Nigeria because it will create about 20,000 to 30,000 new jobs, and that is the truth. And it will reduce crime because most of the people who are smoking is because they don't have job. I can go on and on.
All right.
So
if I should allow you, I know you're going to continue.
Only, please let me round up.
All right.
The benefit of doing this is that we get feedback from the public. Once we get feedback from the public, we'll be able to know the direction to push our legislation. So that was what happened in Ondo State. We did not say, House of Rep has approved the passage of cannabis. No, that is not what happened there. Look out for my press release on that. Thank you.
Thank you for your clarification on that. Let's talk politics quickly before we throw the lines open. The large gathering of almost all the PDP state executives in Abia State to your federal constituency to welcome back your predecessor, and it was called a grand civic reception. It was organized in Harono, and the state governor was there, the deputy governor, the speaker was there, and almost all the PDP state executives in Abia State, they were there to welcome him back. Now, I don't know what will be your reaction to that, because it has some political coloration. That in fact it was said that her return will reposition PDP in Bende, and you represent Bende Federal Constituency. You're of the opposition in Abia State, APC. I don't know what will be your reaction to that.
My reaction to that is that I'm not a member of PDP.
Okay.
They are a political party who have their own strategies on how they want to achieve their objective. Whether or not the strategy will work is up to their think tank bank. If their strategy was to collapse the whole state structure of the party in the local government, just for House of Rep position, which I doubt, it means that I'm very strong. It means I'm very, very strong. It means that I'm doing something very well. It means that I'm very powerful. It means that I'm on ground. That the governor will come, deputy governor will come, speaker will come, party chairman, state chairman will come, and all of them will gather and in Bende with all the people supporting them. Because I know people who came there, most of them came there because of the governor of the state who was coming there for the first time or thereabout. And I know some of them came because of the deputy governor. A fraction came because of the speaker, and a fraction came because of the chairman of the party in the state who was visiting the local government. I heard that buses were sent around and people were asked to join the buses and come and to welcome the governor. Whether it was all the people who came because of the member who they were welcoming is unknown to me. It is their strategy, but my question is, where did she go to that she's being welcomed? I don't know. I don't understand why they welcome. But if they decided to welcome, who am I to question the strategy of the party? Whether or not it will work is up to them. But to say that you need a particular individual to open up a particular senatorial district, that
repositioning PDP in Bende. And the window to Abia North.
It means it's like casting aspersion on all the great minds of PDP in that area. You are only saying that the people who are there are not good. You are saying that it is only one person that will make that place. You see why we are different from PDP. The APC, we work in group, we work in synergy. I am working with Nkiro Njocha, who is doing very well in his area, in Abia North, in her area. I'm working with the governor, former governor of Abia State, who is doing very well in the entire senatorial zone. And we consult. We fight together. We argue, we debate, we settle. And we see it not to be a one-man show. But for PDP to come with a strategy and say it is only one almighty person that will now, where it is a place you have a deputy governor, it's a place you have, former this and former that, great minds. I have worked with most of them there. They are my big brothers and my big friends. And you are saying that it's a place you have a colleague of mine who is working very hard in Aruchukwu Ahafia area, Ukonkole. And you are saying those people are not good. Ukonkole is not good. Deputy governor is not good. JOK, who is Commissioner for Information, is not good. And I can mention all of former deputy speaker is not good. Former commission, a lot of them, a lot of big PC. I can go on and on. All of them are not good. It's only one single person. Even the former person who ran against me, Chimanya, so it's not good. All these people are not good. It's only one person that will help them deliver Abia North and Bendo. I don't know if it's a good calculation, but time.
Anyways,
time because
is...
you see, in politics,
yes,
what matters is not people with the superpower. What matters is the commoners, the common people, the voters who are seeing the dividends of democracy. They will know whether what they tested before in 12 years and what they are testing now is the same thing. It is up to them. It boils down to them whether or not a magic wand has been thrown into Bende. We will see it as the days unfold. But we, as APC, that area, we are solidly on ground, and we will prove it over and over again, not by muzzle, not by speaking English, not through our fine face, not through how tall we are, but through how we have demystified leadership.
All right.
Through our accessibility to the people, through our availability for the people, through the things that we provide for the people. That is what will prove whether we'll close the gate for Abia North or we'll open the gate for somebody to come and take over.
Benjamin,
that strategy, I hope it works for PDP, but I know it will not work because we are on ground and we are tilling the soil so seriously.
0808-182-6949 or 0811-605-2949. Also drop messages on 0906-510-8289. Ben Kalus Mandate is the program. Glad to have you join us. You're welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Michael.
You're welcome.
Honorable Ben, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Pastor Jigs. I'm calling from Mumbai. Well, even though I'm not really from Bende, but my work takes me across that place. And to be frank, I appreciate your impact and that of the former governor. In fact, the local government is actually blessed having personalities like you. But I envy the projects, I envy Bend because of the projects I see on ground whenever I pass through that area. And I'm sure you are going to consolidate on your achievements. I listened to your discussion and all that you presented this time. And I can rate you as a brilliant, intelligent young man. Especially hearing that you are a born-again Christian. It's a very big plus for you. I wish you the best. God bless you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Pastor.
Thank you. God bless you, sir.
Welcome to
Pastor. That is.
All right, let's take more reactions. Welcome to Ben Kalus Mandate. What's your name and where are you calling from? Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
It's Ikechukwu calling from Omaya.
All right, Ikechukwu, quickly, straight to the point.
I want to ask the Honorable. His party APC came to power with the acronym, the slogan of change. And now Nigeria are asking for restructuring. Why the party is resistant to restructure Nigeria? Is it a sign of leadership failure? And secondly, what is the position of his party in the height of this security? the only approach they want to adopt is to withdraw the security of the number one citizen of the southeast states, including that of River State. Is it the best approach?
All right. Let's get more reactions. He's going to reply those questions. I'm noting your questions. Welcome. What's your name?
Good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome, Chief Sebastian.
In the studio. I Chief Sebastian from the people in the studio, my Imo State. My take is on the issue of restructuring. In fact, restructuring is something that takes time. Before you assemble the people that are going to take part in it, and also before you finish all the processes of the conference, it will take more than 2 years. By then, the president would must have gone out of office. So what I'm saying, what we need now is political way power that will stop these insurgencies in Nigeria. That's what we need prominently. And the issue of Southern Governor's resolution, they should put it into action. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Chief Sebastian. Let's take this, and Representative Benjamin Kalu will react to your questions. You're welcome.
Hello, Michael.
You're welcome. Good morning.
My name is Bryce Okoro, and I'm calling you all the way from Okawo.
All right.
Although I'm not from Bende, but I so much love this man, Honorable Benjamin Kalu. At least from his words and so many things he has teach us, because I know there are too many things which I don't even know, which he has ratified and explained to every one of us here on this platform, at least for us to know. I so much love the way he talks. Apart from the party lines or whatever, these are the kind of people we need, even in our own very constituency. Who can call is really trying, but from the House of Assembly members, we need this kind of people that are very brilliant. I so much love it. Way of representation.
All right, Mr. Bright Okoro, thank you very much for your contribution. On the SMS line, Chinaza Jonah from Isialangwa says, good morning, gentlemen. I love that man, Ben Kalu. APC must take over Abia State come 2023. Say no to non-payment of salaries. All right, this one says, good morning to you, Representative Benjamin Kalu. Okay, it is true that cannabis has high economic and medicinal value. Your suggestion has raised a lot of controversy. For me as a person, I understand what you are talking about. I know of Germany as one of the countries that has legalized it. What effort have you and shall put on ground to educate the Nigerian populace, knowing too well most Nigerians always misconstrue any suggestion by any opposition party, even when they know the truth? Please remember Ubibia Road, Okparauku Alexander from Umporo. All right, this one is coming from Abuja, I believe. Yes, Onwabweze Onuegbu from Abuja says, on rural agriculture, what is government doing to help off-season farming? Amanko Uzuakole has mass fertile land for vegetables, but no road to access a particular culvert. And it is too bad. Akpaluche. There may be little to do in farming this year. That's coming all the way from Abuja. So those are the messages, and the lines are really buzzing. But I would really like you to reply those questions and also messages. Representative Benjamin Kalu.
Yeah, I think the first had to do with the pastor who also was happy that I profess Christ. I don't hide it because for me it's a higher calling than this position. The most important thing in life is for me to make heaven and be commended by God Almighty on the last day, and that has influenced everything I do. So I thank you for praying for me, for supporting me, and it is prayers from people like you that will make us do the right thing. We are here to serve the people and to honor God, and I don't hide it, So thank you for your commendation. The next one had to do with I think Bright Okoro.
Yes, Ike Chukwu from Umwa here. APC resistant to restructuring and the issue of security. The same question by Chief Sebastian.
No. We are not resistant to restructuring. I had said it time and time again that when APC came on board, that one of the things that we
put together was a committee that El-Rufai was involved in, and they did a finding on what they call APC True Federalism Committee.
That was in
2018.
2018, yes.
No, 2018.
18.
I'm just talking about 2018. This report came out in 2018. And in that report, you will see creation of state, you will see merger of states, you see derivation principle, physical federalism and revenue allocation, devolution of powers. And let me read you what they said on devolution of power. They said the committee recommended that the party put its political weight behind the overwhelming popular demand for devolution to states by the federal government. To this end, the committee recommended the transfer some of items on the exclusive legislative list to concurrent list and others to residual. Specifically, the committee recommended that food, drugs, poison, narcotics, psychotropic substances, fingerprints, identification, and all the rest of them, mines, minerals, labor, business name, geographical survey, and natural gas, prisons, public holidays, railway, and a whole lot of them to the states. And the federating unit also was one of the issues that made the issue. I think we should take a day to discuss on the summary of this finding.
All right.
So what I'm trying to say is that the credit to restructuring, independent candidacy, land tenure system, local government autonomy, power sharing and rotation, resource control, type of legislature, and all the rest of them. I would like to discuss this in a different day.
All right.
So that I let Nigerians know the findings and the recommendation made by APC government. What the certain governors did a few days ago was re-echoing the provisions and the position of APC when in this recommendation that I just mentioned to you. This recommendation I actually went to El-Rufai himself and he handed it over to me. And I can assure you
that maybe in a later date.
Yeah, we'll discuss that another day, but I want Nigerians to know that APC is not against restructuring, but it takes a process, like I mentioned in this program time and time again, that by moving certain things from exclusive leagues to recurrent leagues, power is devolved. Gradually, it will take place. Like one of the callers said, it will take a process. It will not be a big bang, and it is done. But the governors are adding their voices now, and that is very, very important to what we want to achieve in Nigeria. The governors are powerful. This country is governed by governors. It's not just by the president. If the 36 governors take a position, it will be difficult for the president to go against them.
Afraid
and I'm happy that our people are coming together on this.
Our time is fast spent. We will continue from where we stopped.
There's another one. There's another one on the issue of education on cannabis. Yes, I know people will always have a misconception on issues like this that sounds a bit controversial, but it's actually not controversial. It's just about people acquiring knowledge. We are doing this advocacy to enlighten people. The National Orientation Agency is going to be involved. The Ministry of Information is going to be involved. Public engagement will be enhanced. And during public hearing, people will air their view. We will educate people more. We will produce literatures more to make people buy into this very noble project. So that is that.
Representative Benjamin Kalus. Our time is fast spent. We'll continue this conversation next week, and it's very important. You can also continue the conversation with him on his social media platforms, on Twitter and also on Instagram at official Ben Kalu. Thank you very much. We do appreciate you for your time on the program this week. Thank you very much for speaking to the good people of Bende Federal Constituency and the good people of Abia State.
Thank you very much. Please take me on this recommendation by APC True Federalism Committee 2018. Right. Next week, I would like to discuss that because there are some issues I want to highlight from that particular committee's findings.
Maybe
it will help people to understand more our direction. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abians, for always tuning in. I hope we had more time, but thank you for paying attention. I hope to be back here next week to talk to you directly on issues that are of concern to you. Thank you, and God bless.
We do appreciate your participation on the program. The program returns next week. Ben Kalus Mandate. My name is Michael Oni.